There you go. Everyone, welcome. We've got Nelson Quest from AgentFire. We're finally going to go through and join with AgentFire. We're barely getting started, so Nelson sent me a document. We're filling it out. We're going to have an amazing, amazing website for the brokerage. So I've got the topic here, Nelson, the 2025 real estate website formula, how top
Yeah.
agents win every first impression online. I like that.
Yep. And yeah, man, I think you'll find, I know you're a big fan of my slides, and I think you'll find these
Yes.
are possibly the best slides ever. Basically, some of you guys have possibly been at previous webinars that we've done on these sort of themes, and so I've just been kind of, I feel like a comic who's kind of working on his. I don't know if you I listen to too much Joe Rogan maybe, but typically if you're a comic, you go out with material. It kind of sucks at first, then but you continue practicing it at live events, and sometimes you bomb, and then but eventually you kind of work it to and get it to the point where it's perfect. And I feel like we're almost there, where these slides are like kind of
Yeah, you're
perfect,
getting
and
the
the overall
feedback.
strategy. Yeah, yeah. We've gotten a
Doing
lot of
well.
great feedback. Yeah,
Huh,
thanks,
you've
man.
been doing well. The slides are hands down the things that people always want. So great
Yeah.
job.
Thanks, man. Yeah. I put a lot of work into this stuff, so I really respect the fact that people are taking time out of their day to be here. And so, the idea is to just deliver as much value as possible, and for people to really walk away feeling like their reality is kind of shifted a little bit. So, yeah, and I've made these slides in particular extra topical, and I think anyway we could just get into
Let's
it.
go. Let's get into
Yeah,
this, everyone. Let us know what city and state or country you're from. Thank you for joining us.
yeah.
And Nelson, we almost matched shirts. We were so close. I
Yeah,
need to
I
like
have some V-necks. I'll
one
put a
dark
V-neck
blue.
on next time. Yeah. Here, okay, let me share my screen, guys. So let me know when you guys can, or Tristan, let me know when you can see it.
All right, I got you. There it is. Perfect.
All right, cool. I'm gonna move this Zoom thing over here to the left. And so, yeah, guys, today we're gonna be going through the 2025 real estate website formula. And so I'm a huge fan of, I hate theory. And so I love live examples of things. If I'm in a webinar, I just don't want to hear people talk about what they think works. Like I want to see live examples of how this stuff is actually working and producing a result. And so we're going to go through some theory at the beginning, but we're going to cap it all off with a lot of live examples. And I'm hoping that we can actually spend most of today just kind of focused on some of the live examples. And we have lots of people that are succeeding here at AgentFire, and I tried to find some varied examples. So we have someone that's doing like thousands of leads, over 1,000 leads a month just on YouTube, and you wouldn't believe that they're doing that. We have a big update on Jeff Bray, who's one of our like superstar clients. It just started in real estate 3 years ago. He's
Oh
actually
yeah,
now in the process of building a team. We'll go through some of his recent big wins, and yeah, let's just get right into it.
let's go.
So, a little bit about myself. So I'm Nelson Quest. My legal last name is now Quest, which I do not recommend anyone ever do because it involves updating your name on every company, credit card, bank statement, passport. It's a total nightmare. But my name is Nelson Quest. I'm the CEO and founder of AgentFire, which I started in 2013. I'm also the CEO and founder of Sold Pixel, who's going to be hopefully working on Tristan's brand for Y Realty. After we get that, we'll start working on his website, which he was talking about at the beginning of this webinar a little bit. I guess, a YouTube expert. I had a really popular channel. It was the fastest growing self-development channel in the Spanish-speaking world. I live in Medellin, Colombia, in South America, originally from New York, and so I have a channel with 300,000 subscribers. I know YouTube inside and out. I understand headlines and thumbnails and just how to have success with YouTube, especially within the real estate vertical. And I also do a lot of consulting with top agents and teams across North America. So let's just get into the new reality of buyers and sellers in 2025. And to start there, I wanted to just talk a little bit about, well, let's go through these stats quick, and then I wanted to just ask you guys some questions. So according to the latest, this was I thought it was Swan poll, but 81% of consumers research agents online before engaging with them. These numbers go up every single year, and so we can expect that these will only continue to go up.
I know.
0.5 seconds is the amount of time it takes someone to judge your credibility online. So if you've ever
No.
looked at, yeah. So yeah, and these are all like very credible places where we pulled these stats from. And if you just think about it for yourselves, like if you go to any website or even a social profile for someone and you see their, let's say you go into their Instagram, you see a panorama, within a couple of seconds, your mind is, you've already kind of come to a conclusion as to whether or not this person kind of looks like professional
Very
and
true.
presentable
Yeah.
or whether it's the opposite. And then 76% of people trust professionals more when their website shows personalized expertise. And so, and this is like the real big theme that I wanted to kind of get into today. I'm going to talk not about politics, but about not about specifically about politics, but about just politics in general. Um, how many of you guys, if I would love if you guys would actually comment in the chat. Let me actually open it up here. But how many of you guys actually feel like the news stuff that you're watching, so whether or not you're liberal, conservative, independent, I don't know what any other parties are, but regardless of your political affiliation, how much of you feel like 100% of what you see, what you're getting from the news sources that you follow is truthful, is accurate? Um, and the reason I ask this question is because I'm going to guess that almost nobody feels that way. Like even if you're, I follow a lot of independent news sources now, and even there, like they all have these sort of implicit biases. There's certain topics where maybe I trust them on some things, but then I can see, or I do a little bit of research or do a little bit of deeper digging, and it's just, we are in an age where it's just so, despite this massive amount of information that we have available at our fingertips at all times, it just seems like harder than ever to like make sense of what's real and what's authentic and what's true. And I want to highlight this feeling because this is only going to continue to exacerbate as we move forward into the future, especially now with AI. What's happening with AI is you now have so much content, right? When I first started watching YouTube, it was like there weren't really the idea of channels that uploaded videos every day, let alone every week or every month. Like that wasn't a thing. You went onto YouTube, you watched the video, you didn't think about like subscribing to a channel because nobody was creating content at scale. Now with AI, you have literally just like the agent next to you could be creating hundreds of pieces of content a month. And so just think about the amount of noise in the world that we live in. It's overwhelming and it's suffocating. And what ends up happening is, as a consumer, so buyers and sellers, they more and more just, even if they're getting a referral to work with a specific agent, or they heard some good things about this agent over here, or they're going on Zillow and they're seeing a couple of reviews, like they're still having trouble figuring out like, who am I going to trust with this most important decision of my life? And that's where I want to stress that a real estate website done right, which is we're going to go through in a second, it's just so important because what ends up happening is most of the people that you're going to do business with, you're not going to meet in person first. You're going to meet them. They're going to come by you. They're going to research you, or they're going to be referred to you, and then they're going to Google you. They're going to go to your website. Like you're going to meet them online first, one way or another. Maybe they're going to meet you on your website, on your one of your social profiles, your LinkedIn. Someone's going to introduce you via email, via text. And so, you have who you are in person and you have who you are online. And these could potentially be like two totally different things. Who you are in person, you could be the best freaking agent in the world. You could have, millions of deals closed and trillions of transaction volume. But then online, you almost don't exist, right? You don't have social profiles. You're not there's nothing professional on them. Your website looks like it was built in the 80s. Like it's important that, I mean, you should, knowing that most of the people that you're going to work with are going to encounter you online first before they ever have an opportunity to shake your hand and meet you in person. Like you should really jump at taking control of the online narrative of your online perception, and you should really work to craft something that is even exceeds. I hate to say that, but like even makes you seem bigger online than you are in person. So if we look at just kind of where we are as a country, there's a lot of economic uncertainty, right? So you have interest rates, which hopefully are coming down, but you have inflation, economic volatility, tariffs, stock market going down. We have record home prices, right? And it's harder than ever to find a home. and fierce competition too, right? People are stepping up their game. And so, and when you consider all these things, these are just more of an argument for why it's important to like really control your online narrative. Let's call it that, right? So let's get into section 2, which is about just the website and how this one investment affects everything you do online, right? So first and foremost, a website, if done right, I'm going to show you guys some examples here in a second of agents that are doing this right. You can literally leverage in every single conversation. So every time someone sends you a text message, you're meeting someone for the first time, you just got a lead from Zillow or from some Google PPC stuff you're doing. Like you can introduce yourself, but then you can also link to some part of your website that's going to kind of reinforce who you are, your expertise. If you got a lead from a buyer or a seller, you can send them to pages that specifically outline all of the cool things that you do for buyers and sellers and all of your expertise and accolades that separate you from other agents and other agents specifically that these consumers are going to potentially be considering, right? Turn marketing into results. So it baffles me how many agents are spending money on Zillow, on Google PPC, Facebook ads, and then they're directing all this traffic to a website that just looks horrible. It doesn't have anything that communicates what makes this agent different than everyone else, right? It's just a lot of noise, like I was talking about a couple of slides ago. Like this idea of noise. I'm going to keep repeating this over the course of this webinar because there's noise and there's signal. Hopefully, you guys have heard. You understand what that means. And so noise is essentially just all the generic, non-personalized, just it's that stuff. It's an entire nebulous cloud of that stuff. Signal is like authentic, it's genuine, it's true, and that's what you want to focus on, especially in this age of AI where there's so much noise now. As you guys go through the day, I mean, just imagine what your day is like now compared to what it was like 10 years ago or even 20 years ago. Like there's just like from the second you wake up, you're getting tons of notifications from all the different apps and things that you follow, and you're not just watching the TV for news. Now you're getting news from everywhere, and every place that you're getting news has a different, not only perspective, but like a different truth into what's actually happening in the world or in the news. And there's just so much unbelievable amount of noise that you got to be able to cut through and focus on the signal. And as agents, you want to focus on being the signal. And if you understand how to be the signal, how to leverage your digital presence and everything you do online to be a signal, you will have tremendous results. And again, we're going to show you examples of that in a second. And then just dominating first impressions. So this is already stuff that we've talked about a lot, but in our increasingly digital first world, your website isn't just a first impression; it's often your only impression, right? And so investing in a beautiful, hyperlocal, value-rich website today means securing your advantage tomorrow. A website is also one of the few investments you can make where you have all this evergreen, you have content that you can just continue to reference over and over and over. So, when you do a mailer or when you engage in any sort of short-term marketing activity, a lot of times maybe you've set up a process that you can reuse in the future, but for the most part, you run the marketing and it's kind of like one and done. When you set up a website and you set up valuable area guides or valuable blog posts talking about how to qualify for a specific type of loan or things that are particularly relevant to your specific target market, target clientele, that you can share that stuff with them over and over and over and over and over again, and then maybe only need to update it every 6 months, every year, just a little bit to keep it relevant. You have this like infinite pot of resource that you can just continue to use over and over and over, and it just makes all the sense in the world to take the time to invest in this stuff, to be able to just use it in literally every interaction and conversation you have, right? And again, we'll go through some examples of this in a second. So let's look at what's wrong with most real estate websites, right? So essentially you have like two sides of a spectrum, right? And most of the people that are in this webinar fall into this bucket. Most of them probably fall into this generic and cookie cutter side of the spectrum, which is essentially just websites that are blend in, they fail to impress or establish trust. And they again, that 0.5 seconds where someone is determining if you're like professional or not, you're failing that test essentially. I also just particularly hate generic. So even if you've got a beautiful website, right? A lot of the websites that I see today fall into this like pretty but pointless category, which is essentially, yeah, maybe it looks great. It's got a nice little slideshow, but all of the phrases are generic, all the copy is generic. Like there's nothing that makes me feel like I'm doing business with a person. And people want to do business with people. They don't want to do business with companies. This is like marketing 101. So, and it doesn't take that much time to take something that looks beautiful and give it a little bit of personality, make it feel like, oh, this is someone that I would like to get to know. This is a team that I would like to get to know. Regardless of whether or not the website is, generic, cookie cutter, or custom, a lot of websites today also suffer from number one, overly IDX focused. So a lot of the clients that come into AgentFire are like very, very focused on IDX. And I'm not saying that it's not important. I'm not saying that you can't use IDX to get a good result, but the primary focus, the primary reason to have a website in 2025 and beyond is to showcase your expertise, position you or your team as the undisputed hyperlocal authority, to have resources on there that you can leverage into the different interactions you're having over the course of the day, whether you're just talking to a prospect for the first time or on a listing presentation. You want your website to be able to give you tools that you can use to just close more deals. Missing modern expectations. So today's buyers and sellers demand evidence of your expertise. Again, this is all the stuff we just talked about a second ago. And then just a placeholder. A lot of agents and teams just kind of look at the website as something like a box they need to check on a list of things that they should have. And that's just silly when you consider how important your digital presence is and how central a website is to that. So bottom line, your website isn't merely a nice to have. It is literally your greatest competitive advantage, amplifying everything you do to attract, engage, and close more business, right? So what must your real estate website do in 2025? First, again, it must clearly showcase your unique value. So not just your value, your unique value. What is it that makes you different from all of the different agents and teams that you're competing against, right? From the moment visitors land on your website, they need to immediately see what makes you the obvious choice, highlighting your unique expertise and proven successes and your specific approach. Your site must instantly and convincingly communicate why clients should choose you above everyone else. Second, it should establish unquestionable trust and credibility. So I talked about this a lot at the beginning of this presentation, but people are unbelievably cautious now. People do not trust anyone or anything. I've mentioned this in a couple of previous webinars, but even like think about just buying toothpaste on Amazon. And toothpaste is $5, right? A real estate transaction is possibly one of the most important that you'll make over the course of your lifetime. For a $5 toothpaste, you're typically, and if you're anything like me, I mean, you're looking up, first you're looking up organic toothpastes, right? And then you're sorting by reviews and you're looking at, okay, these all have like 4.6 and above. Then you're clicking to the reviews and you're actually clicking to see, are these actually even real reviews? Because now that's a whole thing with Amazon. So like it's harder than ever to trust anything. And people just don't trust. And so you need to earn their trust. And you can do that with a website. And just be your most powerful sales tool every day. So your website shouldn't just sit passively online, right? You should, and that's how most agents think of their website. And I'm trying to get you guys to think of the website in a much different way. Think of it as, how can you use this thing as a tool that you can leverage in literally every email, every text, social media post, face-to-face conversations? How can you literally transform every interaction into an opportunity to attract, engage, and close new business? So, all right, I think we went through that quickly enough. Let's get into the real meat of this thing, which is live examples. So let's start off with the Whitney team. I'm actually, Tristan, I'm dying to do like a co-webinar with Chase because he's doing just so much cool stuff right now with the
Let's bring him on, dude. Chase is a friend.
Yeah, I think the next webinar's got to be with Chase because we just did a webinar with him where he went through he's got this AI flow where he's creating quality content and then he spins it off into like, anyway, let me send him a message and we'll get him on for the next webinar for sure.
Let's do that.
Yeah, so Chase, his website is for realestatehelp.com. I'll actually get it up here on the screen real quick, but he's just like an absolute content machine, and he's really focused on creating the content that most helps his specific target market. So he's using a lot of our he's using a lot of our AI tools specifically. There's two tools that I want to mention.
Is that Florida or is that somewhere else?
He is in Orange County, California.
Oh, cool. That looks
where are you? Yeah.
I'm in Malibu. I'm not too far from him. I didn't know he covered Orange. That's cool.
Yeah. He's close by then, Malibu. So yeah, but he's so we've got like really cool tools here at AgentFire. I don't want to make this like a sales pitch for AgentFire, but in particular, stuff that regardless if you're with AgentFire or not, you should be using. So we've got AI tools that help you to create blog content that is like literally 20 times better than what you can get off of ChatGPT, and it's specifically for the real estate market. So like, we've got a really, I'd say one of the top AI minds in the industry. His name is Luke Belcourt. He's our chief product officer. And so we've got these like really complex workflows. He's actually worked a lot with Justin Benson over at Shiloh AI.
Nelson,
And
why don't we
yeah,
why don't we do a whole special session on AI with Luke? That would be great.
that'd be cool. Yeah. He
That's
would love,
two sessions right there.
he's not a big webinar. He's not a big like he's kind of the
Oh, is
guy
he
in the
behind the scenes?
yeah, he's like the the hoodie
Oh,
on kind of,
yeah,
but
there he is.
I can talk to him. I don't know. He's trying. So but yeah, but we built out something where you can essentially it's called content magic. And so if you guys have ever used ChatGPT to create content, hopefully everyone in this webinar has done that at some point. It just requires a tremendous amount of prompting and going back and forth, and then you want to try to inject it with your personality. Our content magic feature essentially allows you to create. Like we built this workflow that uses ChatGPT, uses Claude, uses Perplexity, and it's got all these different AI workflows built into it, so that you can essentially just type just very little about the specific topic you want to talk about and what are your unique perspectives on that topic, and it'll just create like awesome articles that you can use. And then we have this feature called #drip, so you can go into any area page, any listing on your website, any blog post, and you can simply add #drip to the end of it. I wish I had like a visual example. I think I do somewhere. But you can add #drip to the URL, and it'll give you content that you can use in text messages, emails. Yeah, it's fantastic, and it's probably one of the most used and loved features here at AgentFire right now. But yeah, with Chase's website too, he's also, if you just look at in terms of like personalization goes, his whole approach, like he wants to, it's his family helping yours. There's a real family feel to his website. And if you go through, he's just nailed all the stuff that we talk about in our blueprint, which is essentially the, everything that a modern website should do to have success. So he's got all the social proof stuff down. He's got really nice case studies that he's got somewhere on the website. I'm not sure at the moment. He's got fantastic buy with us and sell with us pages that outline all of the things, not just the services that his team provides, but like what makes them different from the agents that they're competing against. When it comes to testimonials, again, this is my absolute favorite way to present testimonials on your website. Like just think about most real estate websites. If they have a testimonial section, it's usually like just a feed. It's just like a list of testimonials, no particular order, no photos. A lot of them are just big blocks of text. Like that's the worst way to present testimonials. The best way is happy clients. I've said that. I think I've said this at every single webinar we've ever done. Happy clients at closing, and if you can create a section like that, where you can use on your homepage, you can use it on your buyer page, your seller page, your Why Work With Us page, and then you find the absolute meatiest part of the best testimonials and intersperse that with, again, these big smiling photos of happy clients at closings. Anyone that scrolls through this section is going to immediately feel like, okay, I can trust these guys. What else on Chase's website?
You know what? I'm
Yeah.
gonna add something really quick there, Nelson,
Yeah.
because so for me, the review section probably hits home a little bit more because we had I don't know, over 200 reviews on Google, right?
Mhm.
And then I switched addresses, and then Google didn't like that. I tried to re-verify and it shut it down, right?
Oh,
And so I had to start Google all over again, right? And I'm like,
that's
okay,
painful. Yeah.
no problem. I'll restart it. Terrible, but I'll restart it. And so I restarted again. And literally last week, we're growing it again. And then I get a message saying, hey, you got to verify this and this. And I'm like, wait a second. This sounds very familiar. Um, and I'm like, maybe we should just focus all of our reviews on our website, right? So I'm excited to restart everything with you
You
because
always want to focus on
yeah,
one platform. So whether
yeah,
that's Zillow, and frankly, like as a real estate agent, your process of collecting reviews from clients should be one of the most well-developed processes, like at your entire brokerage or team, or if you're like that should be like literally one of the most important things that you do. And so, and you probably want to even have a process where you're hopefully the client is happy enough where they're and you catch them right at the, at that right time, right? Maybe it's like the first day that they're moving to their new home, or maybe before that because they're a little bit less busy. And you want to try to get them to leave your reviews in multiple places. So you definitely still want people to leave your reviews on the major platforms. So that's Google, that's Zillow is a great place to concentrate reviews. And then you pull from those to your website, and you find the meatiest bits and the nicest testimonials, and that's the stuff that you put front and center in your website. But no, you definitely don't want to give up on Google. I had an issue with Google too. We can maybe talk offline, but yeah, you definitely don't lose if you have 200 reviews. That's you don't want to lose that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, that
So
just reminded me of that. So continue.
yeah, but yeah, definitely continue to focus on at least one platform. But really, you should focus on multiple platforms, and you should have like a gift basket that goes out after every successful closing with a thing that's, links the different platforms for them to leave you reviews on that. That's, I mean, as an agent, that's I would say maybe not the most important thing, but it's up there top three. All right, so let's go to Chelsea Atwell. So I actually mentioned this website on our last webinar, and we had a lot of feedback on this. I had a lot of people email me separately. So this is by far the best hyperlocal real estate website that I've ever seen. And so what I really love about this website is, again, she's using this as a hub, as she should, right? For her entire like online digital presence, all of her social media stuff, everything feeds back through this website. A couple of things I really love about this website. One is I love that she set up a merch store for her particular hyperlocal area. And so like she's got all these great shirts and mugs, and even if I mentioned this on the web, I did confirm that she is getting purchases through this website. But even if like nobody ever purchased anything through this merch store, just the fact that you have this on your website and you're featuring it heavily, like who's going to see this and not think that you are like so the like top authority, the top hyperlocal authority in the specific area. When you've got like a freaking merch store with mugs and kids apparel, for your specific hyperlocal area. So she's doing that, which I absolutely I love that. And this
I
doesn't take
love
that
it
long.
too.
Yeah, and this doesn't take that long to set up. I think I'm sure you've done a ton of stuff with merch, but there are websites where you can there's like teespring.com. There's websites where you can literally you can set up a merch store in a couple of minutes if you just have the graphics. And even these graphics now you can create these graphics with ChatGPT's new image creation functionality is insane now. So if I wanted to, I would say conservatively, like 13 minutes, I could create a merch store with at least like 10 pieces of merch using ChatGPT and a website like Teespring. So I love that. And then I love that she had a lot of good things. She's got a really big Facebook group. Tristan, you may know something about big Facebook groups, but Facebook group is fantastic. And I think she's got over 1,000 members in her Facebook group, and she's constantly posting about local events and stuff like that. And so people that are in areas, like they love seeing stuff about like what's happening in the area. And that sort of information is really hard to find, especially now where nobody's watching TV. Nobody's watching your local like news station. And so that information is hard to come by. It's novel. It's again, it's like truth. It's signal in this world of noise that we live in. So people love that. And then people also just feel good towards that. And you want people to associate good feelings towards the things that you're doing. I could expand on that more, but I could do a whole webinar on just how important it is to make people feel good if they're interacting with your brand, your presence. And then yeah, she's also got like a local event calendar where you can she actually has people going to submit local event stuff that she's then syndicating to her Facebook group and everywhere else. But yeah, she's doing a great job. Her website is yourcentennialhillsexpert.com. I highly recommend checking it out. Going through her area pages. AgentFire has the best area guide system on the planet. And her pages, we also have a lot of flexibility for customization, and her pages are just like the absolute best. And you can imagine, so she's got, the descriptions, what to expect, lifestyle you'll fall in love with, featured neighborhoods. So it's a 2-level system. So there's a like top level, let's say for cities, and then second level for neighborhoods. And she's got pages for all the different neighborhoods that she works in, top 3 attractions, things to do in Centennial Hills. We've got this Yelp integration where we're feeding in the top local businesses for food, drinks, shopping, gyms, and you can actually customize this with your top local picks. She's got photos. You can tag any blog post to an area page. So if you want to post about a local event, you can then tag it to the relevant area page. Yeah, really, really good stuff. Jeff Bray. So we've talked about Jeff Bray in the past. So I haven't talked about him in the last couple of webinars here because I don't want to overdo it. But I wanted to just give a big update on Jeff Bray. So Jeff is, I've said this many times, one of my favorite clients here at AgentFire because he really understands. He actually has a degree in psychology. And so he started as a brand new agent 3 years ago in one of the most competitive markets in the US, Sarasota, Florida. You guys can look it up. I think at times it's actually even been the number one most competitive market in the entire continental US. And
That's
so
crazy.
he started as a brand new agent. The first thing he did was he invested in a brand, invested in a website, and all he did was he would purchase leads on Zillow and just send them to his website. Now I wanted to just give a quick update on Jeff. Here's his website, by the way, and you can see again he spent a lot of time working on a brand that would resonate with his particular target type of client. So I actually helped my other company, Sold Pixel. We helped build his brand. He wanted a brand that kind of felt like an expensive handbag or a 5-star hotel. And if you look closely at just all of his colors and everything, hopefully you feel that sort of vibe. Yeah, Jeff is now, he's now building a full team. And now he's also expanded he's spending a ton of money on realtor.com leads as well. And again, his entire strategy, and I wish I could say that he's like Chase, where he's using our AI tools and he's blogging and he's not doing any of that. He literally, all he does is he buys leads off of Zillow and now on realtor.com and sends them to his website. And he makes sure every single lead just goes to his website. It's like the first thing that is his, anytime he gets a lead, that's all he cares about is because if he feels like if they just see his website, they're going to want to work with him. And so, and he's absolutely killing it. Last year, he did over $1 million in GCI, and that just his third year as an agent. In his first year, again, if you went to his website, zero sales, zero real estate experience. But you would go through his website and feel like this guy is like, how can there possibly be a better real estate agent in Sarasota, Florida? So then this is the power of online. This is making yourself just look so big and so awesome and like just so unquestionably so undeniable. I like that word, so let's go with that. Yeah, just undeniable. I think if you want to succeed anywhere, you have to just make yourself undeniable. Charles Fisher, I've talked about him in a bunch of webinars. I'll just bring up his website again real quick. So he's one of the top agents in Los Angeles and a top Remax agent. And he also just recently invested in a new brand. But if you go through the website, you'll see, again, there's just a lot of personalization. So again, look at most websites that look great and go through them and you'll find generic stale copy. You'll find the same sort of stuff that you still find in every other real estate website. With Charles, there's a very personal feel as you go through his website. If you go through his buyer page, his seller page, he's got this beautiful, again, these testimonial sessions, by the way, I'm the guy, I'm like, I tell clients, like a lot of the consulting stuff that I do, like this is so critically important piece of building the website is like big smiling faces at closings, because this section, again, you're using it on your buyer services and seller services and why work with us page. And it's a critically important page in shaping the perception that like you are the best. So, he's got a lot of hyperlocal area content. All the content is also like run through a filter so that it reflects his sort of unique voice and personality. Let's keep going. Mattkelly.real estate is a newer website that we launched. I wanted to highlight it just because for agents that have a lot of personality, I think that his website is just it's just great. Like if you have personality, you want your website to showcase it. I don't know if hopefully
I like it.
I don't know if you guys if the video you're seeing is like super pixelated or because I know we're on streaming, but like in a couple of stills there, he's dressed up like Randy Savage. He's like he's clearly got a lot of personality, and so if you are, I'm not I'm not like this type of, I wouldn't be this type of agent. I'm not getting dressed up in costumes and stuff like that. But if you are, if you're doing cool stuff, you got, pink hair or the polka dot dress, or just you have sort of an eccentric thing about you, why not highlight that in the website in a way that's going to make you feel like, oh man, I want to get to know this person. I want to get to know this team. So I think Matt Kelly does a great job of that. He's also, again, doing all the other stuff, a lot of the hyperlocal authority stuff. He's got a really cool, I saw this too. I'll just mention it quickly. So he's got a podcast, which is pretty cool, and apparently gets some good viewership, that he's featured through the website. And he's also got a heroes program, which I thought was pretty cool too. So basically he gives up 20% of his commission if you are a military, first responder, teacher, doctor. I just like that. I wanted to mention it. Let me turn off this alarm here. Sorry.
I like that, man.
Yeah. So, okay. So that's Matt Kelly. And then the last one I want to mention here, or maybe this isn't the last one. Yeah, it is the last one. So we have a bunch of clients that are doing really cool stuff on YouTube. I wanted to highlight one in particular because he's been with us for a while. I can verify. I've gone into his dashboard, like over 1,000 leads a month, and just on this YouTube channel. So 145K subscribers. A lot of the top coaches talk about how view count isn't super important, right? So like, a lot of times you're, as an agent, you're uploading videos and you're comparing yourself to some of these big channels that you follow. And really, when it comes down to it, like for you to be able to make even a few $100,000 in a year, you don't need videos that are getting millions of views. Like you could potentially do that with videos that are getting hundreds or low thousands of views. Because what's important is that people are actually reaching out and wanting to work with you. So, but he's got videos where he's getting millions of views. He's out in Kentucky, and you can see this whole line of videos here is like 1.5 million views, 1.9 million views, and so and it's just very straightforward format where he's got the YouTube thumbnail. It's always showing. So he specializes in ranch and land type properties. And so, yeah, he's just following the same sort of format that a lot of other creators have followed, which is where you just got like the concise text, but big. Usually there's a price on there, or that it's just talking about what type of property or what type of land that the video is about. And then, and yeah, people love land videos right now, especially where I think everyone wants space, wants their own space. It's kind of private from everyone else. And so, yeah. And so he's got these videos. Some of these videos are 13 years old, but he's still like, and so he created this video 13 years ago. Okay. And it's still producing leads for him. Like imagine what other marketing thing can you do where you create it and like 3 months later, it's still making leads for you, let alone 13 freaking years later. So, and then this is the power, like when people talk about YouTube in particular and the power of YouTube, this is the power, is that like videos that you created a year, 2 years, 3 years ago, if you got like a spectacular property and you do a really cool video on it, that video is still going to, even if the property sells, like a lot of agents are thinking, let me do these cool property videos just to help sell this like individual property. No, like the goal is to get leads, to get people that are interested in working with you, that want to see either this property or properties that are similar to it. And yeah, again, I can't say enough. Like name one other marketing thing you can do where you can, it's still like years later, it's still generating leads for you. I think you would struggle to name one. So yeah, anyway, yeah. So I wanted to just do a quick little pitch here for AgentFire at the end. So I want to stress a lot of the stuff that we covered. This is not a sales presentation. The stuff that I'm covering and showing you guys is really, it's just meant to help you out, regardless if you're with AgentFire or someone else. Help you understand the importance of a digital presence and how critically important. Not only is it now, but like how important it's going to be in the future as we continue to like. I hate to say the word proliferate. I'm trying to think of an easier word, but as we continue to proliferate into this new era where there's just so much freaking noise, like it's so loud, like we just want quiet, we just want truth, we just want like, okay, I can trust this thing, and that's what you can do that with your digital presence. So every website we built follows Blueprint, which is our 21-point checklist for the perfect real estate website. So we're not just building a beautiful website, we're building a strategic website that you can literally leverage in every interaction you have. To do that, we have lots of really cool features. We have, again, the best area guide system in the industry. We have really cool lead pages. So our most popular lead page at the moment are these Tom Ferry inspired nosy neighbor campaigns, which are basically case studies for listings that you've sold. And so we have a ton of clients that are using these right now and having great success with them, especially sharing them on listing presentations. We have a feature which previously was called My Listings. Now it's called Listings Hub. So if you guys remember the hashtag drip functionality that I showed you guys a second ago, imagine being able to have like a whole menu of marketing items that you can now choose for every listing you have on your website. So you literally go to your website, go to the listing, click add hashtag promote to the end of the listing, and you'll have like text, email, social posts, like, yeah.
Can you show me that live? I'd like to see that.
It's coming soon. So
Oh,
it's like literally coming, I think.
dude, you got me excited. I was like, I hadn't
Yeah.
seen that. I want
No,
to
but
see this. What is this?
it's like coming in a week. That's why I'm talking about it
Oh, got
now.
it.
Like it's like we're actually going through the beta right now. Like it's we could push it live today potentially, but it's almost there, and it's really very cool. And it's following this new trend that we're developing, where essentially we're building. We have these websites where you can. We want an AgentFire website to be where you can go to any page and add like hashtag drip or hashtag promote, and now turn that into like a whole. Like basically be able to leverage that anywhere you do business. I also mentioned to you, Tristan, privately, we're working on an app that's going to, I think, revolutionize real estate websites. And so I don't want to talk about that because that's not coming next week. But yeah, that's going to be freaking killer. So, but yeah, AgentFire websites, like wherever their website, I think is more like has more of a placeholder type mentality. AgentFire, like our overall guiding mission is like, how can we give our clients a website that they can literally use in every single conceivable interaction, email, text, listing presentation, anything, to be able to win and attract new business. And that's the guiding philosophy that is leading to all these cool new features that we're now working on. So we have 3 different levels of design that you can choose as well. Even our starter level Ignite is, I would say, pretty revolutionary. These are not your standard template websites. This is everything we've learned in building custom websites over the last 13 plus years, kind of boiled into a theme. So if you sign up for Ignite, you go through a simple setup process, you fill out a couple of forms, and then we're using a ton of AI to be able to extract like your personality, everything that makes you unique. We're asking you all the right questions. So we're doing all the hard work for you. You just literally have to go through, answer some questions, and then we're able to set up like an incredible site with really a minimal amount of inputs. And then of course we've got our semi-custom and custom websites. Honestly, when people come to AgentFire and they're ready to sign up for a website, they're like immediately going to put themselves into one of these 3 buckets. But with a semi, yeah.
We're doing the custom one, right? For the brokerage. Is that the one?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. You're doing custom. So yeah, you're getting the full
It's going to be crazy, man.
Yeah. We're going to make sure your website is like the best website.
Yeah. Well, that's going to be a fun process to go with everybody too, you know?
It is fun, and building a website is fun because it's visual. So there's a lot of stuff that is, it's just not as gratifying. Like seeing visually this cool, amazing thing that you've created that perfectly communicates everything that you always wished was communicated about you, like in a concise and elegant way is, yeah, it's just super gratifying. AgentFire is also, if you compare AgentFire to every other real estate website provider, we are #1 overall on every major review platform. So we have higher overall reviews than any other company we compete against on Facebook, Google, Trustpilot, and G2. I would love if you guys would just give us a chance in a demo. Let us show you all the cool new features we're working on. We can go over the Listings Hub feature that I just broke Tristan's heart with. We can go over all of the hashtag drip functionality, the content magic, which I probably didn't do a great job explaining, but just it allows you to create articles in a couple of seconds that is like 10 times better than what you can create with ChatGPT. If you go to agentfire.com/iPad, you can book a demo. And if you book a demo and hold your demo before this Friday, you'll enter to win a brand new iPad Air or $600 USD. We've been raffling off iPads these last couple of webinars. We've had a lot of success with that. But I think what ends up happening is it's just people are already kind of wanting to do the demo with AgentFire, and now we're just giving you like a little bit of extra motivation and yeah. So that's all I got. Tristan, I think you had something as well too you want to talk about. with live
Dude,
code agents.
you know what? I'm going to keep it for later. I'm really excited about the website. I want everyone to just
Yeah.
experience the process of us going through everything. But so far, everyone, Nelson's been, his team's been amazing to work with. Just from the 2 meetings we've had, they really care, and it shows in the whole process. So I would recommend, if you are in the market to create an opportunity to make a new website for you or your team or your brokerage, definitely hit up Nelson and his team, especially with that $600 off that I saw. Is that what I saw or no?
So it's just book the demo and you have a chance to win either an iPad or a $600 cash equivalent, which for the record, we've done 3 of these now, and every single winner has chosen the $600 cash equivalent. But the iPad looks visually interesting, I guess, so we continue to feature that. We should just say $600, I guess, but yeah.
Let's see how it goes. Everyone,
Yeah.
thanks for jumping in. Nelson, I love it, dude. And yes, I did like the slides, and I can't wait to see the new stuff. So
Cool.
thanks,
Yeah, I
everybody.
think next webinar, let's hit up Tristan, Chase for sure.
Chase, let's do that. I'm down.
Yeah,
That'll be a fun
cool.
one.
Awesome.
Thanks,
All right,
everybody.
thanks, guys. Tristan, thank you, man. Appreciate it.